Hello there, and here we are in the Old Testament in day 115, which is for many of us Christmas Eve, unless you're watching this later on. And the Old Testament, we're in Joshua, and these are some of the hardest passages in the whole Old Testament. God told Joshua and the people of Israel when they entered the Promised Land to get rid of all the other tribes, to be ruthless, to root them out, and that's really hard to understand in all sorts of ways because it's violent, it doesn't seem fair, and all of that. Some things to remember. I'm not saying I've got the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm puzzled by some of this, but number one, in those days, it everyone was incredibly violent in a whole way, and for the people of Israel, if they didn't defeat their enemies, their enemies would defeat them. Number two, we know that the tribes that lived there were awful. They, as we've said before, they sacrificed their children to idols. They were incredibly cruel. There's a lot of evidence, both from Scripture and outside of Scripture, that they just did terrible things. And the Lord said to Israel, you know, you've got to wipe them out. Don't leave anything, because if you do, you're going to start following their gods. They're going to infect you. And of course, we find out that later on that they did allow some to live, some to stay. And as you read the Old Testament, you see the results. Some of Israel started following their idols, Molech, Baal, and all sorts of that. And then the people of Israel, at the worst point of their history, they started sacrificing their children and killing their children to the idols. What does this say to us for today? I think one of the things it says to us, it's not about killing our enemies who are other human beings. It's about killing our enemy, which is sin, in our lives, and to be ruthless with sin. Because if we don't kill sin, sin will kill us. If we don't live for Jesus passionately and completely and obediently, you know what happens? Sin kills us. It comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That's what the devil does, and that's what his outworking does, which is sin. And there's one little thing here: the Gibeonites, when they saw that the people of Israel had been destroying everyone else, they tricked the people of Israel. They pretended that they didn't live in the land, that they'd come from a long way. And and the people of Israel, Joshua, they made an oath with them that they would have a peace treaty. But the last couple of verses of this, it says it all. The men of Israel sampled their provisions, but did not inquire of the Lord. They didn't inquire of the Lord, and that's a danger for us. Joshua had had lots of success. He'd won all the battles, and maybe they got a bit cocky. You know, things are going all right for us. We've won Jericho, we've won Ai, we've done all the other stuff. And then what we do is we stop inquiring of the Lord. Never stop inquiring of the Lord. Never stop asking him for his will. Never rely on our own wisdom and understanding. It will always fail us. We will get deceived. Keep asking the Lord. Keep seeking his face. And one of the best ways we can do that is by reading his book. All right. See you later.